Welcome back to the Dynasty Football Key. Hey, it's week 8, and we got some start sit action for you today. Let me know what questions you got in the chat. Hey, we're going to start off with the wide receiver position. Here are my rankings for week 8. And, we got some of the heavy hitters up top, like Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is out. It's going to be all on Jamar to help them beat the Eagles. I think they can get it done. I've picked them to win this game, and Burrow's going to be leaning on Jamar pretty heavily to get it done. So, and guys, again, let me know if you got any questions in the chat for your own teams, and we'll keep rolling through here. The top 6 is Jamar Chase, AJ Brown going against the Bengals in that same matchup. Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Tennessee. We've got Tyreek Hill, and I think all of the Miami team is going to be back up. So excited for them. But they're going up against the Cardinals. We got CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and rolling into the top 7 through 12 here. Stephon Diggs, Jaden Reed, Malik Neighbors. That's going to be a Monday night game. We got Brian Thomas Jr., who's been really hot and is just going to keep it going probably for the rest of his career, man. This guy is really good. We got DJ Moore, George Pickens. Yeah, like that matchup with Moore going up against a tough or a not so tough defense in Washington. We did get news Jaden Daniels should be playing there, so I think this could actually turn into a shootout actually. And then George Pickens, really glad to see that he's got Russell Wilson throwing on the ball here. So let's move on to the 13 through 24 positions here, and I'll be keeping an eye on the injury status update here. I just see now Alan Lazard is out, so they're going to be just going all in on their new addition in Devontae Adams, along with Garrett Wilson. I think both those guys had 9 targets last week. But yeah, I've got Deebo Samuel, who seems to be the lone established wide receiver that's going to be playing. He's going to have Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle, as well as Jordan Mason as other options. But as far as receivers go, Purdy's going to be leaning on Samuel pretty often. Hopefully he's fully recovered from that pneumonia. But if he is and doesn't have breathing issues, I think he should be able to get a lot of work. And then Devontae Adams, he's gotten a week under his belt to get his sea legs with the new team. We've seen with Amari Cooper that he took some time, only had 19 snaps in his first game. I expect actually the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. All of these recent trades, it takes a little bit of time to get going. So this might even be a better week for Adams. And New England just, kind of in a rebuilding phase as far as just the talent level on their defense. So I think Adams can have a great day here along with Garrett Wilson. Both of them should be able to produce. Jalen Waddle could easily end up a lot higher. Tua is back. So Miami Dolphins are back. His wheels up. And we've got Devonta Smith in that same Bengals matchup. Bengals haven't been a great defense. So I think he can hold his own there. Zay Flowers, he's been up and down. But I like going back to Flowers here. Explosive player. Just depends on who's really getting the touchdown that week for the Ravens sometimes. And then Amari Cooper, just like I said with Devontae Adams, I think now he's got a little bit more time to get some a little bit more feel for the offense, and maybe he gets more than 19 snaps there, and could easily produce, and he definitely did in that last game. And then we've got Marvin Harrison Jr., who unfortunately hasn't gotten off to a great start. It's hard to pinpoint whether it's all on him or Ricky Paynes, or if it's even maybe Kyler Murray. I'm not sure, but we want to see more from him. This is just a tough defense for him to go up against. So continuing with Jalen Ramsey and those guys, it's going to be a tough matchup. In my own leagues, I'm actually starting JSN over Marvin Harrison Jr., so take that for what you want. I've been working with Player Profiler. They've got Marv at wide receiver 35. They've got Tank Dell and JSN ahead of Marv. I've got Tank Dell here. I see Jason and Tank Dell in a similar spot. Both are going to be the wide receiver 2 this week for their team, and there's really no wide receiver 3 because the other wide receiver is injured. So they should definitely get some targets. Terry McLaurin, now that Jaden Daniels is back, if he really is healthy, I would say McLaurin. Give me McLaurin probably over Devonta Smith here, over Flowers, at least over Marv. I would have him now that we know Jay Daniels is going to play. So just that as you will. Darnell Mooney, he's been really good this season. I think the Falcons are going to keep rolling. I picked them to win this matchup. So let's go on to the next group. I mentioned DeAndre Hopkins, why I like him. And guys, just another reminder, drop some questions in the chat if you got any. Going up against the Raiders, good D-line, but it's just a rivalry that the Chiefs know very well. Chiefs are 6-0. That doesn't really matter, but they're really going to try to, see what they can use. Just a short window of time for Hopkins. Maybe he doesn't get a full participation. Like maybe he does just get those 20 snaps or something like that. But I think it'll be potentially enough if they can just target him in the end zone. He's potentially good for one, welcome to the Chiefs touchdown. And then Tyler Lockett. So DK Metcalf out, Tyler Lockett, JSN, they should be good. Xavier Worthy. Right now, he's been the wide receiver one. Hopkins is coming in the building. Worthy they've been using him just for kind of explosive plays. They haven't been hyper targeting him. And in the PPR setting, Worthy just hasn't been able to get those type of targets. We got Chris Olave returning. Still have Spencer Rattler at quarterback. I want to see how this is going to work out because Olave really wasn't even producing with Derek Carr before. So tough to just believe that with Rattler, he's going to be great. Now, Rashid Shaheed was in at the time that Olave was in. So maybe there's more for Olave now. So that's something to factor in as well. And then we've got Romeo Doubs here. I think he should be a factor for the Green Bay Packers. And then we're going, Keenan Allen versus Washington. Again, this I think will be a potential shootout. So look out for a lot of points there. We'll see who that goes to. But, that Keenan Allen matchup. The Romeo Doubs matchup, they're going up against the Jags. That's supposed to be JAC, not LAC. All right. And then 31, Michael Pittman Jr., Ladd McConkey at 32. We've got Khalil Shakir at 33. I'm thinking that Amari Cooper can open things up for these guys. Cortland Sutton at the 34 spot. Jalen McMillan, who's right now the wide receiver one on his team, a new wide receiver one on his team. This is going to be a good debut for him. Baker Mayfield's been cooking, so this could be a great opportunity for him to shine. And, really this is kind of the beginning of, what could be a great rest of the season for him. And then I've got Jerry Jeudy, or insert your favorite Cleveland wide receiver, whether it's Cedric Tillman. We're Elijah Moore truthers over here for what it's worth. We'll go on to the running back position. Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Jordan Mason, Bijan Robinson are in the top 6 there. Those top 4 are pretty much set it and forget it. Jordan Mason, had a couple of down weeks relative to what he had been doing at the beginning of the season, but Dallas has the worst run defense in the league, one of them at least, and some injuries to boot. So he should just have a good opportunity just going up against the guys on the other side of the ball. And Bijan Robinson's really explosive. I could see this being a high-scoring game for them. Devon Chan, now that Miami has Tua back, Chan's back in play as well. It should be high-scoring. I think even Mostert or Wright could have a higher upside the rest of the season as well, depending on who is healthy. Then Joe Mixon, he's been playing well. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good last game, and it almost looked like Monty was hurt, but he bounced back in that same game. So it's still another chance that they could kind of split the exact same point totals. We've seen those, weeks where both of the guys get the exact same amount of fantasy points. All right, Kareem Hunt, he's definitely been operating as a top 10 running back since re-signing with the Chiefs. And then Josh Jacobs, I believe in the offense. I feel like the production should be there. It just hasn't been as awesome as I thought it would be coming into the season, but he's got all the opportunity in the world. And then DeAndre Swift, just like the team and how they've been playing. So there should be a lot of touchdown upside for him. And let's go on to the next group. We got Javonte Williams, who had a really great game last week. But more importantly, Carolina is the opponent on the other end of the ball. They've got a ton of injuries. So this should be another opportunity for these guys to eat. James Conner's been great this season. We've got Jonathan Taylor at 15, J.K. Dobbins at 16, Alvin Kamara 17, who just coming off of a recent contract extension, reportedly has a broken hand. Not something that he can't play through, but very interesting. But he's been their best player and playing through a broken hand. And Tony Pollard has no Tyjae Spears behind him. So Pollard, workhorse role incoming on a bad team though, but he's a pass catching back. So I think he'll get a lot of opportunity just to get some dump off catches here and there, especially in garbage time. And James Cook, there's been a little bit of an emergence from Ray Davis behind him. The overall offense should improve now that they've got Amari Cooper. So still happy to have James Cook. He's had some good weeks in the past. Dave Montgomery has been great. Brian Robinson Jr. This is another one that gets helped potentially by the return of Jaden Daniels, just with more touchdown upside. Maybe get some stuff vultured, but it could be a scenario where they're trying to conserve Jaden Daniels just a little bit, and keep him from getting hurt. And then we've got Najee Harris, who's been good, and I like that Russell Wilson's back. I believe I have his teammate Jalen Warren on the next page here, but we got Tank Bigsby, who could definitely be higher. He's been great. I could see putting Bigsby, ahead of Montgomery, at least top 20 running back play. Chuba Hubbard's been great, but this is the toughest defensive opponent they've probably faced this year. They're bringing back Bryce Young, so it's a little bit of a variable that doesn't look good. But it could, maybe he's learned some things over his time taking a break. This is a kind of a game to watch to see, does Bryce Young have an opportunity? And then we've got on the final 25 through 36 on the thumbnail, I've got Nick Chubb. So excited to see him back. Last week, you could tell they really only wanted to get him that touchdown, and they didn't use him after that. That was all they wanted to do, is just get him feeling good, get him back in the flow of things. Got a question here before I jump into this final row of running backs. True Gentleman says, need help, got offered JT and Higgins for my Jordan Mason and Marvin Harrison Jr. Would you take it? So would you take JT and Higgins for Jordan Mason and MHJ? And if this is redraft, so Higgins is not playing today. So factor that in for what it's worth. I like JT. JT's coming back, so the injury is already out of the way, and Jordan Mason potentially has CMC coming back, and also the Niners, they go on bye next week, so you won't be able to use Jordan Mason next week. So if you can get by, I would say do it, because you can get JT now for this week. That's better than Jordan Mason, and then Marvin Harrison's going to be playing this week, and T Higgins is not, but you'll still be able to use T Higgins down the line. And he's been having a way better season than Marvin Harrison Jr. So I'll take JT Higgins. Higgins is going to come in fresh for the next game, ready to roll. So go ahead and pull the trigger on that one. And just want to double check. They've got a week 12 bye, the Bengals, that is. So you'd be able to get some useful games out of T Higgins in week 9, 10, and 11. So the next 3 games he'll be able to help you. Not this week, but the next 3 games he'll be able to help you. And then he'll get another bye week there to get fresh into the final stretch of the season. And one of those games are against the Titans. So there's some opportunity for some points there. So good luck. And now we're rolling. So at 25, T Higgins' teammate, Chase Brown, they just need to keep feeding him the ball. He's very explosive, more so than Zach Moss, who I've got at 34. Rashad White, oh yeah, no problem. No problem, True Gentleman. Good luck. Yeah, it's time to win. All right, go get it done this weekend. Hopefully, that's not one of those trades where it takes like a waiting period and it just is quickly executed. But on the flip side, if it is one of those where it takes a couple days to actually go through, then you would get the usable game out of Marv this week and Mason this week, and you would avoid the bye weeks next week. But good luck, man. All right. Rashad White had a nice bounce back game. Now, unfortunately, they got a lot of injuries this past week. It's sad to see, but hopefully they can have those receivers step up and this offense can keep moving. We're going to see how much not having Evans and Godwin is going to affect Baker Mayfield and their ability to move the ball. It's going to be run heavy approach though, so I see White and the other running backs getting plenty of work. And if I miss any injuries, guys, help me out. Let me know if you see something coming across the wire last second. Right now, I think we're up to date. I've got at 27 Ramondre Stevenson. Tough Jets defense they're going up against. And usually when you have a running quarterback, I don't love your goal line opportunities. So there's always a little bit of a risk there. And it just hasn't been great for this team in general. So that's why I've got Stevenson this low. Raheem Mostert, I think he could easily be much higher. Has a lot more upside now the two is back. And Nick Chubb got a 29. Baltimore is just a tough opponent, and he's still working back from that injury. Let's just keep it real. This is more of a feel good story. I hope Chubb really goes back to full form, but I'm not going to be out here telling people to go ahead and prioritize him over guys who've been producing. And Enrico Dowdle's in a tough spot because the Cowboys are elevating Dalvin Cook to the practice squad to the active roster this week. So this might be the last time we see Rico Dowdle even this high, potentially. It's been decent for him. He's been a decent flex all season. But if there's another back eating into that workload, that's just not good for anybody. All right. And in the 31 through 36, we got Alexander Madison, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Warren, Zach Moss, Tyler Algier, Ray Davis. If you're looking for Alexander Madison is the best out of that group easily. Jalen Warren, I'd actually put over Tracy in that matchup. Those guys are back to back in that same game against each other. But I think Tracy has an opportunity to pull ahead at some point. But right now, the quarterback play for each team is kind of is kind of flipping how they have the ability to produce. I think Warren should be at 32 here. Let's go into the next group here. We got tight ends, and then we'll go into the quarterbacks. So Brock Bowers, number one, of course. George Kittle. I'll say with Brock Bowers, this guy is crushing the targets, right? Not many people are getting the targets that he is. So it's not really a question to go with Brock Bowers anymore. The guy he's on pace to break the rookie just player record for most receptions in a season. Doesn't matter if it's a wide receiver or tight end. Brock Bowers is the GOAT. Okay, George Kittle versus Dallas. He should be healthy. So I think we'll go ahead and rock with him. Got a question coming in from WhatsApp. So we got Rashad White, Chubb, or Allen in the FFPC league. White, Chubb, Allen. Man, yeah. So I've got White over Chubb, and pick two. So I would go White and Keenan Allen. Boom. Yeah, Whitey, Keenan Allen, lock it in. All right. And so Travis Kelce at 3. I'm taking Njoku over Kelce in this spot, guys. All right. Give me Njoku over Kelce. Give me McBride. Give me Ingram over Kelce. So I'll probably have Kelce at 6 here. I know I made the graphics. It is what it is. I've been hearing Hopkins should be a little bit more involved than I initially expect. So anyway, we'll go on to 7 through 12. We got Jake Ferguson. He should still be the second target for Dak Prescott. Kyle Pitts has been decent. Tucker Kraft has been a great option. Might prefer him to Pitts or Ferguson. Cade Otton, he may be the guy who benefits the most from the situation in Tampa Bay with all the injuries. So he's locked in. Sam Laporta has just not been producing. Not happening. It just hasn't been how they want to kind of run their offense through the tight end, which makes sense. You got an Amon-Ra. You got, now you got J-Mo who's suspended. So fine, you can have Laporta here, but long term, it's going to be rough. And then Dalton Kincaid, I think he gets a little help from coverage rolling to Amari Cooper. So let's lock him in. And then we've got Cole Kmet at 13, Hunter Henry at 14, Mark Andrews at 15, Dalton Schultz, Pat Frymuth, Noah Fant. And then we've got Zach Ertz, Taysom Hill. I like the Taysom Hill upside. Just with some of the other injuries, Taysom Hill's got an opportunity to just mix in, especially since there's a Spencer Rattler in the mix. Taysom Hill's got a little bit of an opportunity. All right. Tank Bigsby, or I got a question. Tank Bigsby or Chuba Hubbard, Najee Harris. I'll go Tank Bigsby over Chuba Hubbard. Let's go back there real quick. We got, I got Tank one spot ahead of Chuba Hubbard. So let's go ahead and lock that in. Boom. And good luck. Let's go back. All right, 19, Zach Ertz, Taysom Hill, Jatavian Sanders, Jonnu Smith, Isaiah Likely, Tyler Conklin. Conklin just got there on a touchdown. I liked it coming into the season, but now with the other guys in the mix, it's a little bit tough. But there is no Alan Lazard this week, so Conklin should be in play. Maybe it's a Mike Williams who benefits from that. Jatavian Sanders, he had been looking good. I'm a little bit nervous about Bryce Young effect on some of these players. So, kind of tough to really feel confident in Sanders this week. And he had a groin injury coming into the week. So let's roll with that. And, okay. So now we'll roll into the quarterbacks. And keep those questions coming. Let me know how we can help you guys out. But we got Lamar at number 1. This guy's nasty. Can't hit on Lamar, man. So just fire him up. Division rival. It's a tough matchup for him. They historically have some tough battles here. It's good defense, but I'm still starting Lamar. We've got Josh Allen at 2, Jalen Hurts at 3, and I would not have been surprised by this ranking preseason. I mean, these are the rushing QBs, but Jordan Love as a non-rusher, he's been getting it done. So firing up Jordan Love ahead of Caleb Williams. But Caleb Williams, even though he's a rookie, they're coming off of the bye week, should have had plenty of time to prepare for this game. And regardless, this has to be a shootout now that Jaden Daniels is going to be playing. So let's go ahead and fire those guys up. Excuse me. Jaden Daniels right after that. So let's get it. Should be a fun battle of the number 1 and number 2 overall picks. I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels in this spot at home. Kyler Murray at 7, Joe Burrow at 8, CJ Stroud at 9. We got Brock Purdy at 10, Patrick Mahomes at 11, and sad to see Mahomes down here, but it's time to stop just ranking Mahomes at the top of every list that there is. For fantasy, they just don't have to rely on him. The defense is great, and that's what they want to bank on. And Bo Nix has been putting up some 20-point weeks here. He's been good. And he's got the easiest matchup of any quarterback on this slate. Going into the 13 through 24, we got Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa returning. So he should be able to put up some points because it's not a physical injury. If his head's right, then he should be good to go and feeling good this week. Baker Mayfield downgraded slightly. He had been a great quarterback this year, but has lost both of his top 2 targets. You just got to factor that in. So, Geno Smith at 17, he's been good. Anthony Richardson, sad that he's this low on the list. He just hasn't been producing, whether it's the injuries or trying to play while recovering through the injuries and just really only having like about 10 games of experience. He's just not ready right now. I think he's more of a 2025 play, but he has the rushing upside to get you there for fantasy. And then at 19, I got Dak Prescott. He put up a 3-point week last week. We know that's not going to happen again, but this is actually also a tough matchup defensively with the San Francisco 49ers. They always have Dak's number historically. So of all the games, this is a tough one to bounce back to, but they had the whole bye week to get ready. We could easily see Dak being much higher in this weekly finish. Then we've got Aaron Rodgers at 20 going up against the Patriots. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets have been taking L's left and right. The Patriots, they're just struggling with overall depth, and so I just think the they have to win this game. The Jets, that is. If they don't, it's a wrap for these guys, especially since it's a division rival. All right, and then Trevor Lawrence going up against Green Bay. Lawrence is gonna be forced to push the ball, and he's attached to Brian Thomas Jr. That's really all you got to know. He's got somebody to help him out, and then he's got that intermediate target in Evan Ingram that he can rely on. And Drake May, guys, just move up Drake May. Put him ahead. Put him at 18 on this list. Yeah, get Drake May in your lineup somehow. Yeah, the Jets are a tough matchup, so I think May has a good opportunity to still pull some things off. But Jets are one of the best team against running quarterbacks as well. It's a tough matchup. I like the upside of Drake May since he's been starting. He's only had 20-point games that he's been producing. Still a very tough matchup. And then Russell Wilson, he should be good against the Giants. And Jameis Winston, we've all been calling for Winston, and he's here. So let's see him get it done. Excited for this guy. All right. So that is your week 8 rankings. I will roll through just to let you see it one more time. I'm not going to rattle them off again. But got some really good matchups. Let me know if there's any final injuries I might have missed. I'm doing a quick double check myself, but I'm going to need to adjust some lineups where I had Jaden Daniels on the bench. And I think I already had T. Higgins projected out, so I'm good there. Deebo Samuel was the one where we weren't super sure, so make sure you got him in your lineup if you took him out preemptively. And just get through these last couple here so you guys can see it one more time. And that's it. All right. So good luck this week, everybody. I will pull up the final kind of slate for you guys to just see at a high level just for fun. And we're starting off with the Ravens, Browns, and Titans, Lions to start the day. Those are two of the highest spreads of the week. We got -8 for the Ravens. We got -12 for the Lions. Feeling pretty good about those two. I've got in our little friend group, I got a little parlay between Ravens, Lions, Chiefs, and the Broncos up, trying to beat the Panthers here. So, though, Panthers projected to lose by 11. Chiefs -8.5. So those are the biggest spreads of the week. That's my parlay lock of the week. But good luck. Also have a Steelers mixed in there because the Steelers don't lose at home. So good luck, guys, this week. And go get those wins because we're halfway through the season. All right. You only got about 7 games after this, before we're in the playoffs. So this is the time to get those wins. All right. So good luck and thanks for watching. Like, subscribe just to help the channel out. We're just getting started this year. Much more to come. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.